What's up? It's your girl Keisha from Put Your Phone Down podcast. I have a special guest, and you all are listening to how fabulous this young lady is. I have a Strawbree. She is a 15-year-old artist and affirmation authority. She helps girls unleash the power of positive I am affirmation to improve their confidence and mental health. I am two words that speak directly to your subconscious mind. As seen on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, at LA Comic Con, and now Put Your Phone Down podcast. After she was bullied at school, this young CEO has independently sold over 10,000 worldwide copies of her affirmation coloring book through her publishing company that features positive images of Black and brown girls, equating to 10,000 girls inspired. She teaches girls how to unlock their subconscious mindsets to bring out the superhero that is already inside of them. Through her I Am Confident University affirmations and vision board, workshops, workbooks, and books. I want you all to know I have SumerStrawbree, best-selling artist
Thank you so much.
Put
Thank you
Your
for having
Phone
me.
Down podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be on your podcast.
Thank you so much. You know, I talk to head off, you know, but I feel like this is well needed, and you already know why. But on this podcast, what I really do is give people their flowers. So most of the that I told you off camera, I'm gonna tell you thank you. Thank you for being the hero for this. You know, as you open up and talk about your bullying, I think that it's really important to put out that I really want to thank you for saving a lot of lives. You know, you don't know by putting yourself out, sharing your story, you could be really pushing a little girl or a young man for another day.
I
And
appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, it's no problem. So I know it has nothing to do with look, because I was going to say, girl, as beautiful as you are, but I know it has nothing to do with that. I was
Actually,
the girl as intelligent as you are, but sometimes it ain't got nothing to do with that. So I'm just going to ask you the real question. Why are these people irritated by your light? It started in 7th grade that your light was so bright that people became mean to you and they began bullying. Can you take me down that road?
it actually started in the 4th grade.
Whoa,
Where
okay.
so the 4th grade elementary school, I was actually bullied because when my 2 front teeth fell out when I was little, one grew in straight and one grew back in really, really crooked. And at the time, when it first started to grow back in, I didn't feel insecure about it at all. I would smile big, showing my teeth for pictures. And until the kids at school started to bully me and tease me about my teeth and just ask me why my tooth is crooked, it really bothered me and it really lowered my self-esteem and my confidence. And it took me years to overcome the insecurity that I had because of it. And I would look in the mirror and just recently, yesterday, I just had this memory where I would look in the mirror and then how the camera on your phone and in the mirror are inverted. So because my tooth would it was kind of out, one was straight, one was out like this. And then I seen myself inverted one day. I was like, oh my gosh. And then it made me feel even worse about myself. So yeah, I just remember that yesterday that I had that thought about myself. And that was the main thing that really ruined my confidence and destroyed my confidence. And there was another thing where uh, my classmates would bully me because my fingers are long and skinny. So they would pick on me about that, and they're like, "Mine are short, and yours are so long and skinny." And they would always say that. There were so many kids that would always say that. Like, I don't know if there was like a connection, like where they would. I don't think they would all say it at once, but it was like on different occasions, and that just really bothered me because I never saw it as a problem until then, until someone started to say something. And, those were the two biggest things that, led me to have low self-esteem. And then during sixth grade, because it was 2020 and that was the year where COVID happened, there was like an orientation or something at my middle school because I was transitioning from fifth grade to sixth grade. And the same girl who bullied me in the fourth grade decided to, at that time where we like randomly saw each other walking by, she was like, "Did your fingers get longer since I last saw you?"
Oh,
No, okay. Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. Sixth grade, it was like an era where you're like kind of like online for sure. So I got kind of a break from bullying during my transition to middle school. During that time, that's when my dad decided to introduce me to positive affirmations. But even before that, when I was saying before, when he would try to take pictures of me, like we were out somewhere and he decided to take a picture of me, and he was like, "Why aren't you showing your teeth like you used to?" And it was something that I didn't realize. It was more of a subconscious like habit that I just began to form. And I was like, kids at school are making fun of my teeth, and he said that I was being bullied. So at first, I thought it was a joke. I thought just kids were like just trying to be funny because we're little kids. We make jokes all the time. But this one was something that I didn't realize that it was actually that serious until my dad said something. So he decided to introduce me to something so powerful called positive affirmations. And then over time, I've developed affirmations such as I am black, brown, and beautiful. I'm confident. I'm a winner. I'm a leader, and I am fearless. So affirmations like those are they're called positive affirmations. They begin with I am, and you say them repeatedly to reprogram your subconscious mind in a positive way. And so during that time, getting into those affirmations, he told me to read them before going to school, after school, and before going to sleep. So it was a formula to reprogram my subconscious mind from negative to positive, and from like insecure into confident. And when we actually were like in person, so seventh grade, I began getting cyberbullied. And that was during the time where I released my second book, which I'll talk about in a second. And I started getting cyberbullied on Snapchat, and I was posted on people's stories, and they would say like these crazy things about me. And I was also receiving anonymous negative messages from numbers that I didn't even know, like random phone numbers. So one of my friends had to have like leaked my phone number somewhere where all these people would, say these negative things about me and just spam message me. Where like there was like hundreds of messages, tons of hundreds of messages coming at once, all at one time, and that was kind of scary for a second. But during that time, since my dad introduced me to those affirmations, I already built up my confidence enough where it didn't bother me as much as it did in elementary school. And that's the power of knowing who you are and building your confidence and just loving yourself. But it takes a lot of work, and the affirmations definitely didn't work on day one. You have to be consistent. You have to say them daily. You have to keep going. And so that's what I tell girls all the time. And it's a resource and a tool that I use that worked for me. So I want other girls to know that it really works.
I absolutely love everything you said. Everything you said. The fact that you said, basically, it's not overnight. Saying these affirmations is like key.
Mm-hmm.
and you have to feed that seed. And so after the seed was fed, like you said, the cyberbullying, once it hit, you was already feeding yourself like, no, I'm not these things.
Mm-hmm.
So is it something that, you know, that you can, when you do your artwork, that's what we gonna talk about, the book. You said about the second book.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just kind of like slid by that, but no, we gotta put props where it's due.
Mm-hmm.
Once you had these affirmations and you started to believe, when was the idea of the book born?
Okay, so there's also a story behind that. So my first book, being titled Black, Brown, and Beautiful, the story behind the title is that when I was beginning my journey as an artist, because I'm self-taught and I would find these tutorials on YouTube, I would search up how to draw a girl, just an innocent search. And what the result of that was girls with light skin, girls with long straight hair, and it was kind of a thing where it was like a subconscious thing where that's all I started to draw. I would not draw girls with curly hair, girls with skin like mine, brown skin, and it was something that I didn't realize until my dad, again, he was like, "Why aren't you drawing girls who look like you? Why aren't you drawing Black girls?" And again, I didn't realize that. And I was like, it's so hard to draw our features, our hair texture, our different hairstyles. But he's like, okay, from now on, you're only gonna draw Black and brown girls. And once I did, I grew a library of drawings, and that was like basically the creation of my first book, where like you see these black lines, like that's the line art. So when you take off the color of the drawings, it begins to form a coloring book. So I'll show you a page here. Well, I'll show you the first page here. So then you see the lines.
Yeah.
It's like the front cover. That's how it's basically formed. So like that's the story behind the title and everything that I'm doing with my books and having representation. That's why I think it's so important. And then I'll go through my second book here called Glow Up, which is translated in 6 different languages, including English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Haitian Creole, and Swahili, because as Black and brown people, we're all around the world and we speak many different languages. So I wanted young Black and brown girls to know that. And I also have an activity page here as well that is giving them like a reason why we are all around the world due to the transatlantic slave trade, and they can research more about that. And then also in all of my books, I have a page where girls can write their own affirmations daily. And then I also have my third book, which is called My Career Glow Up. And that one is showing Black girls represented in a variety of careers so they can see the different career options that are out there starting at a young age, just like how I'm an entrepreneur at 15. Other girls can do it too, and there's many other things that we can do as well. And then my most recent book, my most detailed book, is called I'm an Olympian, and it's featuring Black girls in a variety of sports as athletes. So we have an Olympic boxer. I am fierce and victorious. I'm an Olympic volleyball player. I'm focused on winning. So they have representation. And then like if they're already in a sport as well, they can see themselves and feel confident through that as well. And then like I said, because I'm an artist, this is one of my digital art pieces right here. This is what I call citrus glow. And the girl's confident in her afro. She loves herself. She's confident in her skin. So I think that's like a perfect representation of that. And also since I'm in Florida, I live in Florida, I was born here. We're known for oranges, so I wanted to put that on there as well. But yeah, that's basically my story behind all my art.
Summer, I'm officially an auntie because I was giving that auntie rock. I was like, look at my baby out. Look at it. Just look at it. The fact that you turned the pain into so much more. I mean, seriously, I know we gonna talk about these book and your art, but it took something to push you there. And that's what I'm proud about, because I'm like, man, you didn't take it out on nobody. You know,
Yeah.
you had a dad that spent time and recognized, like, look, no, that's not cool. These people aren't your friend. And the fact that you didn't push against the grain, trust me, I was opposite. If my parents said somebody wasn't my friend, I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But the fact that you was getting poured into is enough to say, no, you know what? He's right. I'm just going to stay off to myself and encourage others. The book, the second book started naming different languages. I was like, okay, look, I'm losing my mind over here. There we go. Pull it up again. So this is the glow up.
I'll show you a few more pages here. This is one page. I'm fearless. I'm successful. And then they're translated on the side. So it's not separate books. They're all translated on one page. I am proud of myself. I am a leader. I am blessed. I'm unique. And we got to say this daily. I am thankful. I am a good person. There's so many more. I am powerful. I'm valuable. You got to say these daily.
You know what I love about that is it's for adults as well. You know, coloring books is the new form of therapy as well. You know, people get their coloring books and sometimes they just take it out on the. So what I like is it's not just for little girls. You can have this and color with your daughter and be like, look, you know what? Monday we go have glow up Monday. Get your book out. Get my book out. Mother's Day is coming up, you know. So this can be purchased in your website, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, you can find us at on my website, www.somerstrawbree.com. It's at the bottom. So it's at SumerStrawbree. Go get your coloring books.
Get the coloring books, and then we got the young lady in the back. Like, you guys have to understand, Summer is multi-talented.
Thank you.
The work that she just showed is just the beginning. It's only 15. I just need to paint a picture that at 15, I wasn't doing none of that. Okay. At 15, I was not on major network sharing my story. At 15, I was not a CEO, because you said that like it was melting butter on bread. Like, I'm the CEO. I'm like, wait, hold on. This is what you're doing. And believe it or not, this is just the beginning. So as I'm traveling on the TikTok street, of course, I get lost on your page because I'm like, wait a minute, this young lady is dope, like for real, on a whole nother level. You're educating us on celebrities who were once bullied and also walking around, microphone asking all ages, all races, did they get bullied? So can you walk me through what people can see on your social media platforms? I, for one, will need to get over right after to see what you got going on. But what inspired you to take it to the street with that microphone and ask people different stories about their childhood of getting bullied?
Yes, so I honestly wanted to, let people know that they weren't alone when they were bullied, especially adults, because there's mostly adults that I interview, of course, all ages, but for the adults, they either went through bullying when they were younger and they're still dealing with the trauma and the low self-esteem from it, and they walk around here like, everything's fine, but they're still dealing with some trauma from their childhood. And there's also some adults who are currently getting bullied still, like they get bullied at work or everyday life. So I just want adults to know that, because there's mostly, I think, adults on my page who like see what I'm doing. So I wanted to, it's really a powerful project that I'm doing right now. And, it lets people know, you're not alone. And if you're going through bullying right now, you will get through it. You have to find a way to overcome it. There's different ways of, overcoming things. Everybody has their different forms. But, affirmations, they worked for me. But for the adults, they shared the different ways that they went through it, like either through family, therapy is a big one, self-care, different things like that. But we have to take care of ourselves, and that's what I want, especially adults, to know. And then for also like the kids that are going through bullying, when I interview the kids, even their parents don't know. They're surprised that they went through something and they wanted to share it with me, because I feel like they feel more comfortable sharing their story around me. But sometimes the parents are surprised that you're going through something, like you're going through bullying, you're being bullied. So that's another thing as well. And then for like the recent celebrity project that I've been working on, sharing the bullying experience that these celebrities that we all know have been bullied, such as we have Rihanna, we have, who else do we have?
You said Lizzo on there.
Yeah, Lizzo. We have many other people, and I'm still gonna continue posting more. But these stories, like we see them all the time. They're always doing big things. They're always successful. But what did it take for them to get there? What adversity did they go through to get there? So I think that's really important for us to know that we're not alone. We weren't alone when we went through bullying, and there's definitely ways to overcome it.
So in your intro, the word superhero, I said it and now I see it, because here you are, just even making these celebrities relatable. Sometimes
Mhm.
celebrities have a platform that they have to tend to, and we forget that they're people, but they also are people who are getting cyberbullied in their own way.
Mhm.
These are celebrities, and we go in on their kids, we go in on their hair. It's like, can you imagine that every day? So the
Mhm.
fact that you brought it back to that, you humanized it, honestly, because a lot of people don't pay attention to celebrities. They believe they got money. What's the problem? But
Mhm.
they still put themselves out there and get ridiculed every day.
Mhm.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about those coloring books. When a person is coloring, I always heard it's like a vibration thing. Like, people just kind of feel relaxed.
Mhm.
So when you're coloring in your book, and I know I've seen the one plenty of times, I am funny. I was like, yeah, that's me. In my mind, I was like, yeah, that's me. But
Mhm.
when you're coloring that, are you saying that as well? Or are you saying another affirmation or thinking about your next book? Like, what's going on when you in your deep thought of coloring and creating art?
When I record the videos, it actually does feel relaxing, like I'm locked in. And then the affirmation, like at the end when I show the affirmation, just coloring that in, that's also relaxing, because as you're going on each letter, you're just like saying it in your head, or you can say it out loud. Saying it out loud is really good for you as well. And then there's like a lot of moms that like send in videos of their daughter or their niece, or whoever coloring my book. And it's so like, it's amazing to see, because I just started with my book when I was 12 years old. That's when my first book came out. And just like seeing how it's helping girls around the nation, it's just so cool. I don't know.
I know, look,
But
it's like you having your moment now, like, wait a minute, I'm actually doing this. Like, you are
yeah.
actually doing this, Summer. I know sometimes life comes at you fast. I'm not just taking that from the Snicker commercial, but it's true. You look up and you're 30. And, sometimes at 30, you hit a point and you're wondering, what have I done? But the things that you're doing now, like I said, I can't stop saying you're saving lives. You know, you have become a superhero. Towards the end, of the intro, I mentioned you doing vision boards and workshops. Um, can you share a midget about if you're planning on traveling? I'm out here in Indiana. You know, I believe high schools, middle schools would love you. Can you tell us where you go, travel, and speak?
Yes, so we're actually starting off in Jacksonville, Florida, for our vision board workshop here in May 24th. So we're hosting it there. And then we're definitely gonna we're gonna start traveling soon. But then we're also gonna do Orlando, Florida. We're just gonna start going, and the most valuable thing about the workshop is the I'm Affirmations Vision Board and Affirmation Workshop workbook, because this is so valuable. And the thing, like when you hear the word vision board, you think, oh, we're just gonna have fun cutting our like paper and just it's gonna be cute and everything. But no, if you want to be serious and you want to get things done and you want to have goals that actually are like come into reality, this workbook right here, this is going to change your life. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because the first thing before you even start, you have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to it says like on this day of this month and this year, I commit to saying my affirmations daily to improve my mindset and self-confidence for at least the next 21 days starting today. So before you even start, if you want to be really serious, you got to help hold yourself accountable. And then we also have the areas that you feel like you're winning at, the areas that you feel like you're losing at. And then we also, of course, write your own affirmations. And then this right here is focusing on your current mindset, where you see what are your negative beliefs that you have. For example, I'm not smart. And then the solution to that, why do you feel like you're not smart? Like, what do you want to do to make sure that you don't feel that way? The solution would be to increase your knowledge and your wisdom, and then take action steps to make that a reality. And then the other thing right here, another thing, your limiting beliefs. So this is also so important too, because your limiting beliefs are your like false or negative thoughts about yourself that restrict your potential, your full potential. So you identify limiting beliefs, saying, for example, I'm not good enough. So what is the origin? Why do you feel like you're not good enough? So, for example, my mom never congratulated me. And then you have to find out. You have to really think, why is this false? And this would be, other people have congratulated me. So although your mom didn't congratulate you, other people have. So that's why it's false. So there's so many other things in this book. Replacing your limiting beliefs, like the different action steps, focusing on your subconscious mind, planning your vision board, because that's also really important too. And then after your vision board too, like where should you place your vision board? There's so many other things as well. So that's really like the value of our workshop, and it's a really fun experience. So me and my dad, we've already hosted it at the Orlando Science Center, the Orlando Library downtown, and many other places. So definitely check out our vision board and affirmations workshop. It should be on both my Instagram and my Facebook, so you can check it out and attend.
So they get that when they come, the book.
Yes.
Man,
Yes,
let me tell you,
the workbook. Yes.
that's straight therapy. I like the accountability contract. I really do. Like a lot of the time, we just don't do that. I think we feel more better blaming other people, but sometimes there's a small part that we play in it too, and we don't want to address that because that has to mean we have to say, "Oh, it's my fault." But that's what you hold in, like you said, this book is all about chiming in on self. That's what makes 15. And the way you just read classroom, honey, I mean, pulling out books and letting people know, look, You got to get yourself there's all in this book. So when they go to the site, is it ticketed or anything else about all the information on the site?
Yeah, so it would lead to a link called Eventbrite, where you can buy your tickets there. You can have a friend come by and come with you and everything. Bring a friend. It's gonna be a great experience, full of fun, learning, and life changing. So
listen, before I let you go, two things. I want to congratulate you, not for everything that you are doing, because I mean, I'm not going to stop with that. You have made history. I just thought about it. You are my first young special guest, the youngest one.
hey,
I
thank
said
you.
that all wrong, but I think you know what I mean. You are the youngest guest
Yes,
that has graced this. You have created history yet again. Speaking to the youth is awesome. And I just want you to know, I want you to continue to go. It's
Thank
plenty more situations, like you mentioned, with the dope and working with the bullying. And then you got kids. What you're doing is trying to save everything. And if it's not by current bullying, you going traveling. By any means necessary, I'm going to save these people so they won't have to feel like I, because everybody won't have a, like, everybody won't have the parents say, that's not true. Sometimes you have parents that will agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have parents that will encourage you to fight. Well, go beat them up. But you took it a different route. And you know I salute that. You know I salute. It's not going to be one day that I'm not going to support you and your mission, because I know how important that is. I told you off camera, it's like finally speaking to the young version of myself and saying, man, look who she would have became if I just didn't, sit home and cry, because that was my answer. So, Summer, we are close to wrapping up. And like, from the bottom of your heart, can you please speak to the bullies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say if you are dealing with a problem internally, I wouldn't say to like kind of hide it, but more of find a way to take care of yourself. Like I know most bullies either have been bullied or they're going through something in their life that, it could be something at home or something mentally, but the answer is not to take it out on other people, because we're just creating more and more bullies and people who are just not okay. And, just take care of yourself, because, like I said, we don't want it to be a whole train of people who just don't love themselves, don't feel like they're enough, that they're not a good person. So take whatever time you need to like figure out why do you say mean things to people? Why do you hurt people? So all I would say is just take care of yourself, take care of your mind, your mindset, your heart, and just be kind.
That's right. Wrap it up in that pretty bow. And I'm glad you used your voice to speak so gently and show the bullies passion. If I was 15 and somebody had me on the podcast, I would probably have to cancel. Like, no, we don't say that. But you did it with so much passion. So I want to thank you again. What's the name of the piece in the back? What is that? What's that other piece right?
The name of it?
Yeah.
Yes, this is what I call citrus glow because, she's glowing with her melanin, she's glowing with her afro, she's confident. And, as someone who's born in Orlando, we're mostly well known for oranges. That's what the orange earrings are from, the sunglasses. And she's just vibing, she's glowing.
And I think we said you selling that, right? That's for purchase.
Yes, DM me at SumerStrawbree on Instagram, SumerStrawbree, and yeah.
So, Summer, we are all raising you up and saying thank you for everybody who has been bullied and everybody who is still getting bullied. Summer, we salute you. It's not easy, but you getting done, baby. Thank you for the coloring book. Thank you for sharing your affirmation. And you are right. When I was going through your clip, I found myself saying every affirmation. And I was like, wow, this works. Like every time you flip the page, I said the word. I want people to understand how important affirmations are. I'm not playing. I felt it as soon as I said it out loud. We all know words hold power. So please make sure you're using your words to heal. We have the best-selling author, multi-talented, and the best is yet to come, Miss Summer Strawbree on Put Your Phone Down podcast. I always mess up towards the end, and always.
Well, thank you so much for having me again. This was a great conversation.
Thank you, Summer. We wishing you well. Keep rallying for us, and this will be out on all platforms so you can share with your friends and family. We're gonna be looking for you to do some fantastic things. Summer.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.